And holy crap, what is this? Mother, I don't even know when this showed up. Hello my car loving friends. It's been a long time since I posted on this channel and I'm really sorry about that. We're gonna kind of change it up a bit, and with everything that's gone on this year, well, what are you gonna do? I mean, I've got the COVID hair going on and it is what it is. Now, I've owned a lot of cars in my day. In fact, a lot of people would probably say I have a car problem. And that's because if I own something for longer than 2 years, it's unusual. In fact, about 6 months after I buy anything, I'm usually itching to move on to something else. And this strategy is really bad for the finances. I mean, really bad. What can I say? It's like an illness. And that's what makes this car right here so unusual. This is my 2016 Ford Mustang GT Premium. And I've owned this car for almost 3 years, and I haven't even considered getting rid of it. I've just fallen in love with this machine and the way that it makes me feel when I drive it. I know there's a strong stereotype about Mustang drivers, and I've seen enough videos on YouTube to figure it's probably justified.
Hold it!
In a lot of ways, the Mustang is a victim of its own success. They're pretty reliable, they're really powerful, and they're not all that expensive. And that's not to say they're cheap. There are some models of the Mustang that are pretty expensive, but if owning a specific car is your priority, there really isn't any reason why, if you have a job, you couldn't actually afford to buy one. And they make so many of them that if you get a used one, you could get a really good deal, like I did on this one. And being that that's the case, and the fact that pretty much anyone who really wants one can afford to buy one, they're more than powerful enough to get you in trouble if you're not paying attention. And needless to say, when I bought this car, I figured it'd be just like any other car I've ever owned. I'd have it for 6 months or whatever, and I'd probably be looking for a way to find someone else to take it off my hands. I had no intention whatsoever of becoming a Mustang guy. Now, when I bought this car, it had 27,000 miles, and its only flaw was really cosmetic. It had a couple of touch-ups in the front, and the paint looked like someone had been washing it with sandpaper. Pretty annoying, actually, especially considering for just about every car I've ever owned, I've had the thing perfectly cleaned and absolutely detailed all the time. It's just one of the things that I really enjoyed doing with cars. But this one, I've had it for 3 years, and I might have rinsed it off a couple of times. I just didn't want to really look at the paint all that closely because I already know it was pretty bad when I got it. But you know what? Let me pull it out of the garage and we'll take a closer look and I'll show you what we're dealing with here. And of course it's dead. Well, I haven't driven it literally in months, so we'll have to put it on the charger and we'll try this again. All right, let's try this again. I've got the battery charged up at least enough, I hope, so we'll see what happens. It never, ever gets old. It just doesn't. It definitely isn't hard to hear or understand why I love this car so much. It's probably not anywhere near as fast as it sounds, and it probably doesn't have the kind of horsepower that maybe that sound dictates. It's, you know, has a little over 400 horsepower, but the way that it makes you feel when you drive it, and the thing is planted, and it just feels fast, and that fast feeling comes with such a visceral sound to it where you just can't help but smile every time that you put your foot in it. And what else could you really want in a car? Now, before I had this car, I had 2 different BRZs, and I absolutely loved them. Driving a BRZ is like putting on a tennis shoe. It's light and you can run fast and make lots of cuts, and that's how driving a BRZ makes you feel. And of course, this Mustang is a completely different sort of experience to that. Before the BRZs, I had a Dodge Challenger, and the Dodge Challenger had the exact same visceral sound that this car does to drive. The difference was that it didn't feel the same. For me, this car is a more comfortable compromise from the driving experience that you get in the BRZ with the visceral, emotional response that you get from the noises that it makes. It's a musical symphony for your ears when you're rowing through the gears, and I just love it. I can't help it. It puts a smile on my face every single time I get to drive it. And I wish that I had more opportunity to drive it. Now, I don't really go anywhere. I don't have any specific place I have to be. So when I get the opportunity to take it out of the garage like I did today, to just kind of drive it around, I really love it. Now, I spent weeks trying to find a place that I felt could do a good job on this car locally. And I finally found one. He has experience detailing cars for people like me who, you know, let's just say I'm a little picky. I'd really like to have this thing look as close to showroom as I possibly can. And the beauty of it is, I told him I needed some paintless dent repair, and he knows a guy. He scheduled it up and made sure that it fit within my budget. You really can't go wrong, and I'm so excited to introduce you to him in the next one. Josh, the guy who owns the shop I'm taking this to, and the name of the shop is LVA Detailing. And of course, they do local, obviously, but you can have your car shipped in and he can do it. And the thing that really impressed me is that I knew he was used to working with picky clientele. The picture on the website is them detailing a McLaren 720S. If a guy who owns a 720S can trust him to detail his vehicle that's $400 and some $1,000, then I'm pretty sure that he can knock it out of the park with my Mustang GT Premium. That's really nothing special. It's only special to me. But you know what? Isn't that how cars work? We all have much more value in the cars that we own than what they're probably really worth. And that's just the nature of car ownership. Doesn't it just stand to reason that every time you want to go out for that drive and you want to open up your car and spread its legs, you get awesome situations where you get to sit in traffic? It's just how it works. Wonderful. All right, let's open it up a little bit here. Then the Prius guy pulls out in front of you. It's just the way it happens every time, right? It's blood pumping every time. Now, the benefit to not touching this car for 3 years is that the swirlies probably haven't gotten any worse, which is always a good thing. But, of course, now I'm in love with the machine, so I want to keep it and probably get something else. So the thought is to restore the paint as best I can without spending way too much money. But let's take a look at the car so you can really see what sort of condition we're talking about. And you can see, it might actually be more difficult to see when we're out here in the bright sunshine, but this thing is a mess. So here is the bumper, and you can see it's all covered with bug crap and stuff. I took this car to Myrtle Beach, and I haven't really washed it since or rinsed it off or anything. There is a little dimple here I'm hoping to get taken care of. It doesn't look like there's any paint cracks there, so it might be possible. And we've got our bird poo, and there's a place where it was touched up at one point or another. Lots of bug strikes, lots of bird poo going on right here. Of course, that's in my shadow, so I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, this is a dusty mess. More bird poo. Lots and lots and lots of covered grime. I mean, this car's just filthy. It really is. And this is how it's pretty much looked since I got it. So, you know, who knows if it can be saved. There is a dimple right here, I believe, on my back thing, and there's a matching one on the other side that I'd like to get touched out. Around here in the back, just more dirt, grime, and grease. And over here, if we look here, and you probably can't really see it, but there is a little dimple there. It's right above the fuel filler door. I don't know if somebody tapped it when they were filling it up or something like this. We've got some scratches, like this one right here. There's a rock chip right here. Pretty nasty. It doesn't look like it's accompanied with a dimple or anything, but you can just see this car is filthy. And the one thing that's really difficult to show, let me turn on the light here and see if we can see it, but there are just swirlies everywhere on this car, everywhere. And it probably actually is more difficult to see with the dirt, because the dirt kind of covers it up. But the paint is just swirly perfection. And holy crap, what is this? Mother, I don't even know when this showed up, but I'm really hoping that he can help me out. We've got a big scuff here that runs past down here into this section of the bumper. That definitely wasn't there before. I don't know what he's going to be able to do with it. What do you think? Can it be saved? Is it possible? Now, there are a couple of things that are already done to this car. As you can see, it does have tinted windows, and the one other major modification that is on the car is around the back here. And right there we have ourselves a set of axle back Roush exhausts. It doesn't add anything actually power-wise to the engine. They're axle back, so all they do is make it sound oh so nice. Hopefully you guys understand why I fell in love with this car. I'm assuming that you're watching this so you're a car person, and you probably get it. But can it be saved? Is Josh gonna work miracles with this and bring the paint up to where the rest of the car is? I certainly hope he can. I think he probably can. If you want to check out his shop, the link is in the description, so please don't hesitate to go and take a look. But in the next episode, you're going to get to see this whole car get totally reconditioned, and I'm really looking forward to it. So do me a big favor and subscribe to the channel so that you can see that episode. You're going to be notified about it if you ring the bell, which of course I hope you do. And if you own a 2016 Mustang like I do and you want to add Apple CarPlay to it, if you check this video out right here, I show you exactly how to do it. So I'm going to see you in the next one where this thing is going to get reconditioned. I'm really excited. I'll see you there.